Welcome to Insights Delivered. If you're running a small business, you've probably thought about a 401k. Maybe you've told yourself, it's just too complicated.
Or too expensive, right? Or maybe you're worried about compliance issues down the line.
Exactly. Those are common concerns.
Our mission today, using the material we've prepared, is to kind of dismantle that fear.
Yes, looking specifically at how modern retirement solutions, particularly multiple employer plans, MEPs, really tackle those anxieties head on.
Okay, let's start with the basics, the why. If I own a small business, why bother with a 401k? Isn't a bigger paycheck easier?
Well, the material suggests it's becoming, table stakes. It's a powerful tool now for attracting talent and maybe more importantly, keeping them.
It signals you're invested in their future, not just the next payday.
Precisely. And look, the government gets the cost issue. That's why there's this suite of, frankly, pretty powerful tax credits available that aren't always well known.
The money part. Let's get specific. What are we talking about?
Okay, so these credits directly hit those cost fears. For starters, you can get up to 100% of your planned startup costs covered.
100%. Wow.
Yeah, capped at $5,000 a year, but that's for the first 3 years. That's significant.
Okay, and I saw in the source material the incentives get even more strategic.
They do. There's another credit, a big one. Potentially $1,000 per employee who earns under 100K.
1,000 per employee.
For the first 5 years, the plan is active. And there's another $500 a year just for adding an automatic enrollment feature.
Which is best practice anyway.
Absolutely. So you stack those credits up, and suddenly that whole it's too expensive argument, well, it really starts to fade.
Okay, cost tackled. But what about complexity? That often feels like the bigger monster for small businesses. The rules, the regulations.
Right. And that's where the MEP, the multiple employer plan, really comes into its own. The Secure Act of 2019 made these much more accessible.
Explain that a bit more. It's like pooling resources.
Essentially, yes. Instead of every single small company setting up and running its own separate plan with all the individual admin and legal duties that involves.
Which sounds like a nightmare.
It can be. So with an MEP, several employers join together under one larger plan structure.
Okay, concept makes sense. But how does sharing actually reduce my personal burden and, maybe more importantly, my risk? My big fear isn't just paperwork, it's getting something wrong with the Department of Labor or IRS.
That is the critical question. And it's where choosing the right MEP provider, like us, makes all the difference. A huge advantage is that joining our MEP largely eliminates your need to file certain complex individual compliance reports.
Like the Form 5500.
Exactly. And it helps you avoid the expense and headache of separate, often very costly plan audits. You get the upsides of a big plan, potentially lower fees, better investment options without the traditional administrative burden.
Okay, paperwork reduced, fees potentially lower. Got it.
When you join our MEP, we act as what's called the 316 administrative fiduciary.
316. Okay, what does that mean in plain English?
It means we take on the legal responsibility, the personal liability, for managing the day-to-day administration of the plan.
You take the liability.
We do. We handle the complex stuff, eligibility tracking, sending required notices, meeting filing deadlines, processing distributions, ensuring compliance, overseeing the whole administrative process. That risk, that burden, shifts from your shoulders to ours.
Wow. Okay, that's genuinely huge. That's actual peace of mind, not just less paperwork.
That's the goal. Less risk, less hassle, lower effective cost.
All right, that covers the business owner side. But what about the employees? If the plan is clunky or hard for them to use, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Absolutely critical. The employee experience has to be smooth, intuitive, self-service, really. We can't have them constantly bugging the business owner with basic questions. It means providing a modern, secure platform they can access anytime, anywhere. Think a bilingual interactive portal. Secure, obviously, with things like two-step authentication.
So they can manage their own stuff.
Exactly. They can check their balance, change how much they're saving, see how their investments are doing, access educational materials, all on their own, quickly and easily. The employer doesn't need to be the middleman. So, just to wrap that thought,
Right.
The traditional barriers small businesses face, those high costs, the heavy admin load, the scary personal liability, those are effectively transferred away.
Transferred to you, to us, through the MEP structure and taking on that 316 fiduciary role.
Correct. Which frees up the business owner to, actually run their business.
So distilling all this down, what does this really mean for you, the listener, the small business owner, considering this?
Think about the specific value, the legal value of transferring that personal fiduciary duty, that 316 administrative responsibility, to an outside partner like us, what's that worth? What's the real dollar and, frankly, emotional value of shedding that personal liability and the constant worry about compliance and audits? Something to consider.
A powerful question indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today on Insights Delivered.